Hi everyone, welcome to my new channel. This is my booktube channel where I'm going to talk about books and all that fun stuff. And I just posted a life update on my makeup channel, which you can find a link down below if you're interested in checking that out. It's just a simple update about where I am in my life and, a kind of reason why I was gone for almost a year. Oopsie. But anyway, if you are interested in learning about basically what I'm reading, my thoughts on certain books and whatnot, please subscribe and enjoy this video. Alright, so for the past year, I guess, starting maybe towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, I've gotten into reading like hardcore. I think back in December, because of all the Christmas spirit and stuff, I really wanted to get back into reading. I did love reading, probably starting in middle school maybe, when I was very young. I hated it actually, and how I would get punished by my mom was she would make me sit in my room and read books, and I thought it was the worst thing in the world, because I'd rather be playing like PlayStation or whatever. But as I've gotten older, I have really enjoyed reading books, and today I want to talk about 4 books that I am currently reading. The first book, which is, actually I've been reading it a lot longer than just August, is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I hope I'm saying that right. So sorry, it's a little messed up. This is the second book in her series, in the Red Queen series, and I did enjoy the first book a lot. I thought the first book was interesting. It was kind of new, and I love, fantasy themed stories as well. And for this one, like I said, I actually started this book quite a while ago, and I just don't know. It's taking me a little longer than I thought to kind of get through it. I'm just about a little more than halfway through this book, and I'm hoping to finish it within this month. And yeah, overall, it's not bad. It's not something that I want to read all the time. Even with the Red Queen. The Red Queen, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't thinking about it at work, oh my gosh, I want to get home and read the rest of the book to find out what's going to happen. So this book is still good. I want to keep reading it to find out how I really feel about it later on. And I hope I do enjoy it. I mean, I am right now, but let's see how the rest of it goes. You know what I'm saying? The second book I want to finish is The Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I love Sarah J. Maas. Really surprised that I did like this or her books so much. I've heard about them in the past, the Throne of Glass series, just briefly, but even from what I had heard, I was like, I'm not feeling that too much. But then I started reading it and I fell in love, and it's been a nice kind of love. Before her, the Throne of Glass series, I did read A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I totally loved. I loved from beginning till end. The fourth book, there's a lot of talk about that book. But yeah, so this one is what I am trying to read this month, and I did try and read this a few months ago. And it was another book that, I kind of started and then, life got a bit busy, and so I decided to put it down for a bit. But yeah, I want to read this one because the last book in the Throne of Glass series is coming out in October, and I want to be caught up with everything by the time that book comes out. And, I'm really sad that it's ending, but super excited for future Sarah J. Maas books with her continuation of A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Nesta and Cassian. I am waiting for that. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna continue to read this month. So the third book that I'm reading, and have actually been quite enjoying this. I literally started reading this about 2 days ago, and 100 pages in. Like I said, I do work a full-time job, and I try and read as much as I can, but sometimes I'm tired. Anyway, it's called Pestilence by Laura Thalassa. And here's the cover. It looks like, my favorite kind of like raunchy romance. I haven't heard much about this book, actually. I've heard a lot about, Tower of Dawn and Glass Sword, and the books in those series. However, this one is kind of new, in my opinion. I mean, granted it is a new book, but I haven't heard much of anything about this book. And I started this maybe 2 days ago, and I'm 100 pages in, and so far I've enjoyed it. There is a lot of cursing in this book, so I don't really recommend it for younger kids. But basically what happens in the story is, at least in this book, there's this kind of like god that's named Pestilence that comes to Earth and just like wreaks havoc. He spreads disease, and basically people are evacuating the area, trying to run away. However, there is a girl named Sarah with some friends who kind of like stay behind, and Sarah was a firefighter, and they draw like straws between each other to figure out, who's gonna try and take out Pestilence, this, very shiny, pretty guy right there. And so she draws the smallest straw and stays behind from everyone else to kind of take him out. And so far in the book, it's been really interesting. I kind of like their relationship so far. And this is actually a book that I'll think about at work, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go home and read Pestilence, and I really, want to figure out or find out what's going to happen next. I feel like this is more adult content due to like the language and, some steamy stuff that happens. So, I'm really excited about this book. I feel like this would be something as of right now that I would be able to finish and, enjoy. I'm enjoying it, so this is number 3. The last book I would like to do is actually something, again, that I haven't heard much about. However, on social media, there's been a lot of ads about this. It's called The Red Winter by Annette Marie, and it looks like this. Again, I haven't really heard much, and I haven't started this book. But basically what looks like is going to happen is there's a girl named Emmy, and basically she's going to be a host for a goddess that's going to take over her body. And then there's yokai. Excuse me. This is very like a Japanese type of book, where it's inspired by Japanese folklore and just the fun stuff. Like I saw online, it's comparing it to Inuyasha and stuff, and I, of course, watched Inuyasha when I was younger, and I loved it. So Emmy is this girl. Her body's gonna be taken over by a goddess, and it's basically how she's been brought up. She's always known that, she's kind of gonna be this vessel. And then there is Shiro, a yokai, who's the enemy of this goddess. So basically, it seems like he's going to hate her just because of who she is. And in the description, it says Emmy's gonna save Shiro, and he's gonna owe her a debt, even though he doesn't want to. But I guess for some reason, because she saved him, like he can't help it. Like he owes her, which can be good and also create a lot of drama and tension and that kind of thing. I'm pretty excited to read this as well. From what I've seen from reviews, it did get a lot of good reviews. Maybe it's not, I'm just hoping it's not going to be a total ripoff of, Inuyasha, or maybe they could compare it to Yu Yu Hakusho, whatever. But we'll see. There's art in this book, which is nice. And this book was not cheap. I was surprised. It was a little more expensive compared to other books I've read. This is book 1 in a new trilogy, and I am excited to start this. Hopefully within a few weeks or so, I'll have kind of like an updated or a review, kind of what I thought about this book. Alright, so those are the books that I want to finish or even start to read. Hopefully I can do it. If you're interested in finding out what I'm going to be reading and what I think about these books, please subscribe and feel free to comment down below with what you're reading this month or what you have read this month, or even what books you love to read. I'm always interested to learn and find out different series or novels, whatever else that I can kind of feast my eyes on. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!